live stream, and it's actually going to be just quick. I wanted to test this live stream for this channel. I have it for my other channels, and I wanted to see if anybody was on or not. That picture that you guys see in the thumbnail is actually where my finger is pointing right there. But about a week ago, before I went out of town, no lie, there was an object, and it wasn't a helicopter. I thought it was at first, about 4 o'clock in the morning, that was like floating in this area. And I actually got in my car and I chased it about 3 miles down that way. And then it went to an area where I couldn't even get to it. I tried to film it, but kind of filming and driving is kind of crazy. But I figured I might come out here and we might see something. I don't know. I'm actually going to try to go to Lookout Mountain pretty soon. And then Lookout Mountain, it's actually a pretty open area. So I do apologize if the video quality is not the best, but this is kind of the first live stream for this channel. So I appreciate you guys joining in. We're just out here chilling, and I do have some stuff coming up with a live stream pretty soon. We'll have some open QA and stuff. But I see a couple people are actually joining on. I wish what I saw about a week and a half ago would come back out, but it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was gonna load the video up, but it was so hard to see it because it was so far away, but it was actually really bright. So, but nothing really happening out here tonight. I know the quality's gonna be pretty bad because we're at night, stargazing. Actually the temperature drops probably about 50 degrees right now here in Georgia. But I do have a lot more videos coming up for you guys. I'm trying to get through some editing, trying to get through a couple things. You guys know how YouTube is. You put something up and they're ready to flag you. But I got a lot more stuff coming up, so. All right, appreciate that, Paul. I wasn't sure. I know it's not clear because I'm out here at night, but I appreciate your comment on there, and I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you other guys that tuned in as well. I'm actually gonna do it with a different camera. I'm just out here with my phone right now going live. But I'm telling y'all, I should probably put the video up and probably do some light enhancements on the video because 4 o'clock in the morning, about a week and a half ago, there was this object floating outside, and I said, it can't be. And I ran outside, got in my car, and it's funny because I didn't have a shirt on, I just had some sweatpants on, and I actually chased the object, and I did not get it filmed good at all. But it went to an area where I couldn't actually cross over, and I got out my car and tried to look at it, but it just kind of slowly flew off, and of course it wasn't a helicopter thing, especially at 4 o'clock at night. But nothing going on out here tonight. It would be cool if there was. And these bright lights here at Walmart are not helping this out at all. I should probably walk over to that area. But this is a chance for you guys to get to know me that are tuning in, ask any questions, talk about the channel if you want. And some of the stuff that I actually have coming. I know some of you guys were actually from my RC channel that I have up. And some people actually found me through that, and I started this channel to kind of try to keep everything separate from it. Yeah, this ain't no better over here, even if I turn the bright light on. But test of a live stream. I did this kind of when we had the lunar eclipse a couple months ago. We were out here for about an hour and something, looking at the lunar eclipse. That right there is probably Venus or Mars, so. Oh, thanks, Sir Richard, for joining me in over here too. You know, I probably just went live on the RC channel. You might have just saw that. I figured while I was out here, go live here. I have some rare footage coming up soon. And if you guys haven't, I'm also on Rumble. Usually in the description, I think I put a link to the Rumble, and I'm also on Instagram too. That allows me to put up more content without the YouTube copyright claim stuff and all that, because some of the stuff people are claiming as copyright really isn't copyright. I don't know how they're getting away with that, doing that, but I don't understand that. But I do have other content and better content on those channels too. So if you guys go over there and follow me on Instagram, it's UFO Conspiracies 01 on Instagram. You guys will see some stuff there, and it's the same thing, UFO Conspiracies on Rumble. And I have content on those channels too. And I actually started posting more content on those channels than I have on the YouTube channel. And then I have Facebook too. Facebook's kind of my personal one, but I've been doing reels out there. And those reels have content that I can kind of post out without getting copyright claims and strikes and stuff on it. So I don't know if you guys want to follow me there, but I have a lot more content. I have a lot more videos and stuff from the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s, of a lot of craft and stuff that I try to put out on YouTube, and sometimes it gets flagged and all that. So not too much going on out here tonight, and it's kind of hard to see. There are a lot of stars out here. You really can't see them that well because, of course, I'm filming with my phone. But all right, appreciate that, Sir Richard. There's a couple of things. I'm gonna post some more tonight, and I actually post more on Instagram and stuff than I do on YouTube, and I post more on Facebook too than I do on YouTube. But there's gonna be some stuff I'm gonna post out there, some videos you guys will see, and it'll probably be pretty interesting. So I was hoping we would see, because sometimes I see stuff out there, but it's normally about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'll have to try to get out here about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I plan on going to Lookout Mountain soon, because that's actually an open, dark area, and I know we'll see some stuff then when I go out there. So while we're on here, any questions, concerns, chats y'all want to talk about? I might actually get in the car because it's actually getting pretty chilly out here. At some point in time, I'm gonna go live and see. Now, y'all see there, those are bugs. People crack me up when they talk about when they see UFOs and they see it fly by a plane. They say it's a bug. A bug flies like this, or a bug flies like that. It flies kind of weird. It doesn't fly straight across. And I got videos I've been working on to try to kind of pinpoint that, so that people aren't talking about it being bugs, because you guys know sometimes the government puts stuff out and misinformation. Hey, say it's a bug, and then one person says it's a bug, and then 10 people say it's a bug, and 100 people say it's a bug, when a lot of times it's not a bug at all. But I got some stuff. See, there was another bug. See how quick that was and how close it was to the camera. It wasn't a plane or anything flying by. But I got some stuff on the moon, the Mars. I got some stuff on the Nazis. Actually, I'm gonna sit in my car and tell y'all this, because we're live and we can chill in here for a minute. I'll tell you guys about the Nazi thing real quick. So, if you guys want to hear this and listen to it, we're gonna sit here and chill for just a second with the Nazi stuff. So the rumor has it that the Nazis got this advancement in technology due to a particular alien race coming to them and giving them the technology. And they were showing them how to build these crafts and stuff, and that's why they had this huge technological advancement. They said also the first interstellar craft that was created was actually made out of submarines, and they did that because they were modular in construction and they were already airtight, and some of the crew were used to that. And those were the first crafts they actually flew out there into space. And that would explain in the 50s, 60s, even the 70s, a lot of the cigar-shaped craft that people were seeing flying around the earth and stuff, which was pretty interesting when I heard about that. And then I read in an autobiography from Hitler, this is even more interesting. One of the reasons why he believed, and I don't know how true this is, but one of the reasons why he believed that the superior race was blonde haired, white, and blue eyes wasn't because of, I would say, white Americans or anything like that. It was because of a particular race that has pale white skin, and not white skin like Caucasian, but they have a pale white skin and they have dark blue eyes and a white blondish hair. And they were giving them technological advancements too and showing them how to do that. That's why they went from an airplane to a jet to a Foo Fighter, Now, how true all that is, I don't know, but I do have a video that I've been trying to work on and gather some information on that. And don't know if you guys heard about that, but that was pretty interesting when I learned about that years and years ago. Because I was always curious of how the Nazis went from a propeller driven airplane to a jet powered jet. And then they were going to the Foo Fighters. And then I heard that there's other things like with the war, for instance, they really didn't lose the World War. They actually had some settlements and stuff, and they actually settled in Antarctica. Whole story about that. And you guys probably know some of that too, which I thought was pretty interesting to read some information about that, that they actually settled in Antarctica. And then, of course, they had particular scientists go to Russia and then some come to the United States. And that's kind of how I was going to say NASA came about, because a lot of their scientists came in there too. So pretty interesting stuff with that. I'm trying to work on getting videos and images for that to show to you guys, but it takes such a long time to actually do that. So, and for you guys that may have just joined, we're just testing out a live stream. I was out here, saw a couple things. I didn't see anything tonight, but I saw something a couple nights ago, about a week and a half ago. Tried to film, but it wasn't the best filming in the world. So, but I do have a video I'm gonna post probably tonight if you guys want to see it. It's probably gonna be about an hour from now, about some more footage. So, I know it's only a couple of you guys on here, and I appreciate you guys that are on here. Maybe I should take this glare off here too. Oh, those are boys. You got some of those batteries. So I was just live. You guys don't know, on the RC Car channel. I usually have a lot of information and tips on RC cars and other stuff and too, and I try to share that as much as I can. Sometimes I just forget, but yeah, them batteries are good, man. I think they were $13.99 for them. And what's funny, since we are on the UFO channel, actually, I was years ago. I was actually trying to build a mini anti gravity craft. I had several brushless motors that were actually together. It was going to be crazy, but I had looked up some models and stuff and some designs, and I was actually going to build one. And it was going to be electric powered for it. And I should still probably go back to that, because I had learned a long time ago about how to create anti-gravity. You can create an anti-gravity device just using two magnets, and it's pretty interesting how you can take like a north and south pole. You guys know how the north and south pole can connect together, but you take two north poles or sides of the magnet, or two south poles, and they kind of repel each other. Well, there was it was Boyd Bushman, I believe it was, did an experiment, and he actually forced the two north poles of the magnet together, and it created an artificial anti-gravity field around it. And he took a 1 pound ball and a 5 pound ball, and with the 1 pound ball, it had the force magnets in it, and with the 5 pound ball, it didn't. And he dropped them both at the same time, and the 5 pound ball that did not have the magnets hit first, and then the 1 pound ball hit right behind it. Now, of course, according to Newton's law, etc., they should have hit around the same time, because they were the same weight and stuff, and their aerodynamics were the same. So that was interesting. So I was actually forcing those two magnets together. I put a coil wire around it, and then I charged it up. So, but those are stuff I'm gonna actually start trying to put out a little bit later on. I know I'm kind of yapping on here, but I did want to at least try to go live and show you guys stuff that may have been out there, which is not. But I wanted to test this, go live for it, and tell you guys about that. Maybe I'll create that little craft at some point in time, or maybe start laying it out and talk to you guys about it and go live and tell you guys kind of what I was gonna do, because it actually would be pretty cool if I went ahead and created some type of anti-gravity craft. Turn this glare off here. We're just using some magnets, which actually be pretty cool. Yeah, those are boys like, it'll actually work. I saw it, and I was actually gonna do some stuff with it and put a charge around the craft. I did hear years and years. I got a lot of, I heard and read stuff, but there was a particular UFO in the mid 50s that actually landed, and it had legs that came out of it. And what was so particular about it was it had six dots on it, and the dots actually circled around the craft, and that actually gave it kind of a lift to help the craft lift up. And that was in a government report I read many years ago. Some of that stuff is actually, I want to have actual photos of it or more information, so they just kind of he say she said. That's why I haven't put that information out there. Yeah, there's ways to do all that stuff. So, but the next live video, I will go in more in depth. It'll be a lot better than this, of course. I just kind of wanted to test it, test the grounds of it, to make sure the notifications one went out, to make sure people were logging in, they could like it and stuff like that. So the next live video will be a lot better. And I may actually go back to the crib and go live and talk to you guys face to face, to see if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But got a lot more stuff coming. I want to tell you guys about Instagram. Find me on there. Find me on Rumble, especially on Rumble, because I can put a lot more on Rumble than I can on YouTube. So those that you think it can be built, just saying. Yeah. Um, I don't think it's that hard to build this stuff. I think that part of the problem is getting the materials to build it and then the patents behind it. A lot of patent pendings on stuff, and of course, if you get the patent right, who knows what's gonna happen or come on with that. But it's not that difficult. I only stopped doing mine because I got busy with time, and I was actually gonna put that into like that concept into some golf balls, but that's a whole nother thing. Trying to force those magnets together, because it does actually create an anti-gravity field around it. For those of you guys that went to grade school and stuff in the 80s and probably early 90s, you went to science class, you could put the magnet down, put a piece of paper over it, put some metal shingles around it. It'll show you the actual strength of the magnet. And that's what I was trying to do when I forced those two magnets together. And if I put electrical charge to the magnets, it actually would have magnified it. And that's one way of kind of creating anti-gravity if you were going to go that route with it. And I'll have to probably, maybe when I go live again, I'll show it to you guys what I'm talking about with it. It's pretty interesting concept. I mean, it was Boyd Bushman that actually talked about, so it's not something that I just thought about and came up with. But Boyd Bushman, who passed away years ago, was the one that actually talked about that. And I have a video on that, but I think it's going to get a content claim or copyright strike if I try to load it up. But you guys will see it on Rumble and stuff. If you guys go over there or on Instagram, I'll try to load up over there because it's actually pretty interesting. And he even talked about Roswell. Um, there's some theories and concepts on Roswell. I know Joe Rogan had that lady on there that talked about it was a Russian drone or something. They jet us off into our area, and we ended up shooting it down. But it's another theory who Boyd Bushman talked about, who he said in the interview. And I don't know if you guys want to hear it. I'm kind of just in the car rambling and talking about stuff. So if you guys, it's a couple of you guys if you guys want to actually hear that, I can tell you about that. There was 3 or 4 theories of what happened at Roswell, and I think the fourth theory is actually what actually happened there. And like I said, I would do videos, but it's just trying to kind of hard to get that kind of information out there. So I know it's only a couple of you guys on, but if you want to hear something like that, I can definitely say something. And if not, we can end this first test live video, and then we can go live another time when I can have a background and I can actually talk to you guys more in depth. I don't know what time zone everyone's in, but it's almost, what, 12 o'clock here? Yes, after 12 o'clock actually here. So all right, well, I appreciate you guys logging on for this first test live. I just wanted to make sure it would go live, notifications would go out. Um, Find me on Instagram, find me on Rumble. I got some stuff out there on Facebook as well. Oh yeah, there's a couple of things you can do, a couple ways you can go about it. So I appreciate you guys joining in. I didn't want to just ravel on too much, but at some point in time, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna have a background and stuff up, and I want to talk to you guys more or less about some of the stuff that I've just heard about, I've read about. Half, it could be half the truth, which is still a lie, but I wanted to talk to you guys about that and talk to you guys about the Nazi stuff. So he says, are there any UFOs out here? I wish there were. There was, I mentioned earlier, there was one about a week and a half ago. And I tried to get in my car and film it. And it was pretty bad. I mean, because I was filming with my phone and trying to chase something dark at night. And it actually went to a different area. So it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And of course, it was not a helicopter. And I tried to zoom in on it, and it was so funny because I think I was getting ready to go to bed, and I saw this bright light just circulating over my house, and I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "No way! There's no way that could be what that is," and it was. It wasn't a helicopter, and it wasn't a plane, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. I jumped in my car and I ran out there and I tried to chase it down. I have the video footage, but it's so bad I just didn't want to put it up. I didn't want to seem like one of those crazy kooks that's out here trying to film something and he can't see it and I know what he saw. But I know what it was though. It was not a helicopter. It was not an airplane, and it actually flew to an area. It went to a neighborhood and actually flew to a neighborhood area, and it flew to an area to where I couldn't actually drive back. And then it like stopped. It like somehow it looked like it knew I was kind of following it, and then it stopped. And I was like, well, okay. But hopefully at some point in time we can get out here, maybe later at night. Maybe I go live or just film some stuff and just see what happens. I plan on going to Lookout Mountain soon. Nice dark area there. I've seen stuff in Lookout Mountain. You guys can help me decipher some of that, but I'll try to have some better camera footage there or something to shoot better videos with that we can actually kind of see what's going on and maybe just sit out there for a couple hours and go live and see what we see and talk about stuff, and we can talk about some stories, and I can give you the very limited little bit of knowledge that I have about this whole UFO UAP thing, because it's so much information, guys. It really is. I mean, it's even with the SR-71. You guys saw the X-15 video I posted the other day, and there's actually several more sightings onto that. It's really interesting, and I'm trying to just make sure I get all that out there to you guys, and you'll see more on Rumble and then also on Instagram as I progress forward with that. But it's really interesting. But so, all right, y'all. I'm going to end this. I don't want to take up too much more of you guys' time just sitting there chatting unless y'all want to hear me just rumble on about some stuff. Um, I'll talk about some of my experiences. I don't know if you guys want to hear that or not, because sometimes it's just things I've seen before and things I've known before, because I was actually in the military. So, Dozer Boy says, rumble on. All right, Mr. Maxwell, have a good night. I appreciate you joining in. Um, so since there's a person or two wanting to hear, and there's a couple people still on here. All right, Darth, man, I appreciate you joining in. See you later. Not sure what you want to hear or what you want me to talk about. I'm trying to get this glare out of here too, but I'll stay live for a few more minutes. There was, I guess, a time, and I hate just talking like this, but without visuals. But there was a time years and years ago. This was in early 2000. I was actually dating a girl. So, long story short, we were upstairs in a room just talking and stuff, and it was late at night. And when we walked outside of her room, I saw this bluish white light right above where her room was at. Like literally like right there by the window, but it was at an angle, but it was higher up. And when I walked out, I looked up and I saw it and it just flashed off real quick. And I said, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?" And she's like, "See what? See what?" And it was a color that I couldn't describe. And most people don't realize that this is actually going to be some factual information. When NASA takes those photos of our universe, those are not the actual true colors of what's out there. And the thing about that is that the universe and this guy is it's a whole story behind that. And some of you guys may or may not believe it, which is fine. But the universe has a vast amount of colors. And long story short, there was a guy and the video was taken down. I tried to find it. I should have downloaded it. But I watched the video a couple years ago, and you guys may or may not believe this, it doesn't matter. He actually had a near death experience where he died, and God took him to the center of the universe. And he said he saw a lot of planets, a lot of galaxies and stuff. And he said every planet he saw had a different color to it. And it made like a faint sound or something. He said it was hard to describe. But he said he came to the conclusion when he came to what he considered the center of the universe that the universe had at least 88 different spectrums of colors out there. And there was actually an astrophysicist from NASA that was listening to his story or his testimony as he was telling it. And he went down, and him and the guy were talking, and he said, "I thought you were full of crap until I heard your story." He said, "Where'd you get your astrophysics degree from?" He said, "I didn't. I actually saw this stuff." And this was in the late 60s, early 70s when he talked about this. And he said, "Well, you're right. When we take those photos out there of the universe, those aren't the colors." He said, "We actually can't contrast those colors here on Earth. And of course, we got the rainbow and we're kind of limited to 7 colors. And from those 7 colors, we have all this here." So I thought that was always fascinating. So whenever I see a picture or a photo of NASA and the whole universe and what they're showing, I'm like, yeah, that's cute and that's pretty, but that's not actually the colors that are out there. They're probably colors they can't even be able to create or decipher. So I always think that that's very interesting. So think about that. Some food for thought out there. We know they lied to us about a lot of other stuff. So that, of course, could be a lie right there, too. So, all right, Dozer Boy, I will definitely think up on that. What's going on, CSL? We're just out here chilling for a minute. It's the first live for this channel. Um, just wanted to test it out, make sure some notifications are going out. I think YouTube actually, since the channel's kind of new, it's restricted with how many people are notified about it going live, how many people can actually come onto the live. So I need to try to finish building the channel up to 1,000 subscribers, and then getting the 4,000. That's a lot of watch hours, which is a lot. Which I'm not trying to keep you guys on the yap, but that's a lot. I mean, 4,000 watch hours is a lot. It should be 1 or 2,000, which is still kind of interesting to get, but. But that was the thing about, NASA. I thought that that was, when I heard that story a long time ago, I always thought that that was interesting. And I was like, yeah, any photos NASA puts out there from this point going forward, I think it's cute, but it's really not what it is out there. And I'm still also, maybe you guys know, can help me understand this. I'm still interested in how these telescopes, whether it's the Hubble or the James Webb telescope, can take these particular photos and send them back to us. And why aren't we looking back at the moon and Mars, and why aren't we focusing in on our own solar system? Why do we always have to try to go out and branch out like that? And I think we all know the answer why, but. So, all right, y'all. We are on a stalemate. Everybody's kind of tuning in. No questions, no concerns, no topics anybody wants to talk about. Like I said, I know it's a test go live, but I definitely wanted to get this going to make sure it works for one. And there's nothing out here. It's 12 o'clock here, but usually stuff doesn't come out until, later on. Yeah, those, but I'm not pretty sure what you're talking about. You said if we worked as a group and not. Oh, you're probably saying if we all worked as a group, yeah. And they actually do. It's a higher level of the government that actually works together. Um, it's a higher level that actually, what we know is kind of just a civilian part of it. And then there's I guess a top secret, and then like a black ops top secret. They do work together. They do have stuff going on. I mean, a lot of the stuff we see is ours. Stuff we've created and stuff we're flying out there. So yeah, there hasn't been any recent sightings that I know of either. It would be nice if there were, but there really hasn't been any. There would be cool. I mean, I actually have some videos I'm gonna post up. I posted some a couple of days ago where I'm getting sightings for, and I see some video footage. Like there's something flying through the sky right there, but that's just either a helicopter or airplane. I think it is. It's too many flashing lights with it, but. What's going on? We are just kind of live and just chatting along. That's all. We're just the first live video. If you guys are joining, I'm kind of rambling on, talking about a couple of things, making sure notifications are going out. There's nothing out here tonight, but kind of where I live at, I should actually just sit on my roof. Sit on my roof. We should look at the sky. But I'm gonna actually start filming more airplanes. I'm gonna go down to the. I live in Georgia, so I'm gonna go down to the Atlanta airport. I'm gonna start going to more air shows and stuff and filming the air shows because for some reason these UFOs tend to fly near planes and stuff. I have no idea why they do that either. It's like they're kind of toying with them, or maybe see if they can detect them. But maybe I can get some good footage then. So there's no questions or anything like that, or nothing you guys want to discuss. I can end this instead of just sitting here rambling on about stuff. I like to, if people ask questions, be able to answer them, which I'm really not qualified to answer all the UFO questions, but I like to have kind of open discussions too. Any military airports? CSL asked. There is Warner Robins here, and there's another one on. I can't think of it right now. I think it is Warner Robins. Um, off of 75. And that's one of the reasons why, if you guys don't know, I was in the military. That's one of the reasons why I kind of joined the military. I just went about it the incorrect way. I wanted to get high security clearance and work at Area 51. That was my goal, but I went about it completely wrong. But it would have been cool to actually work over there and see some of that stuff and see what's going on. We know that a lot of that stuff, if not all of it, is underground now. Yeah, they do. It's probably a reason why they do hang out at the military bases because a lot of that stuff is probably being constructed at these bases. So, I mean, it was pretty cool some of the stuff I saw. This is in the 90s. I actually saw a design for a tank that was underwater, and it actually had two pods that could come off of the side of it. And the pods could actually come in as far as I think about up to 3 feet of water, and then they could shoot projectiles up in the air and explode over the enemy if they were having a firefight on the ground. I thought that was pretty interesting when I saw that, and that's when I think I saw my first flying wing. It was a video um, in I think it was 1939 or something. It was like propeller driven, and they couldn't get it stable and stuff. Of course, they didn't have the technology to keep that thing flying and keep it stable, which makes me think about Kenneth Arnold. And that's some of the stuff he saw in the 1940s. He actually probably didn't see a UFO, but he probably saw, well, it was unidentified, of course, but he probably actually saw something we were working on because the way he describes it and even the picture of it is a wing shaped craft for it. And, he kind of made somewhat of a career of that too. So pretty interesting with some of that stuff. I did some videos on the RC channel, and some of them got flagged, and there was just some interesting people out there. Just it's very interesting on YouTube. But we have Rumble now too, so I can put stuff out there, and we have Instagram, so I don't have to worry about too many flags and too many issues like I do on YouTube with that. If you guys ever get a chance, go to YouTube, look up a show called Sightings. They used to have a lot of good paranormal stuff, UFO stuff, and paranormal stuff. I used to watch them a lot when I was a kid. Of course, Unsolved Mysteries. I loved the Unsolved Mysteries when they had the UFO stuff on there. I love the Belgium Triangle incident they did in 1989, and that was my first time actually seeing that actual photo. And then they said somebody faked it, which that's not a fake photo. That's actually a real photo. So those are boys that I can see. Apache Point observation on my way. Okay. In Holloman Air Force Base. Sweet. Yeah, Robert Stack was the man. He had that voice for it. That was the host of Unsolved Mysteries. They had some good shows back then. They don't have too much now. I mean, most of the stuff you guys see is out there on Netflix and all these other channels, and it's some of the just the same information. It's just talked about by somebody else. But they actually had eyewitness testimonies. They had photos. They had videos. They had drawings. I mean, it was actually really interesting to see some of that. It kept you intrigued, I'll put it that way. And it kept you involved. Like the stuff of today, I know we got a lot of YouTube channels out there, including this one. I'm no exception to the rule. But, then they put a lot more. They had a team working on it now, where it's individual people. It'd be nice if some of these bigger channels, even like Mr. Beast and stuff, actually focused in on some stuff like that. But they probably would shut them down if they did. I mean, there's a couple other channels. I think it's, if you guys have not seen it, and I'm not trying to tell people not to go to watch other people's channels, but there's Eyes on Cinema. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's putting up a lot of information. And I don't know if he's been flagged or anything like that. I know he got flagged maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because it's hard to put that stuff up without being flagged or copyright claimed or striked or anything like that. But he's got a lot of eyewitness testimonies where people are talking about what they saw in recordings and stuff, which is pretty interesting. So if you guys haven't checked them out over there, I think he posts at least a video or two a day. I don't know how he's getting some of the information he's getting too, because he's actually got some pretty good testimonies of people, and it's actually video of them talking. So all right, y'all. I think this live thing is somewhat working, which is good. I'm glad the notifications came out. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm probably gonna end this one. Been on here a little bit longer than I anticipated being on. Unless like I said, there's any questions you guys may have for me, which I don't think there's too many questions at all coming through. But we know it works, which is good. YouTube's lifted some restrictions as far as going live, so I can go live probably Friday night with some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. So I appreciate you guys that have joined my channel. I appreciate you guys that have watched this video. Got a lot more stuff coming in. Yeah, I'll get them hours going. I mean, the monetization will be cool, but I got a lot more stuff I got to start trying to focus on and put out here. I'm going to try to do about 4 to maybe 5 videos a week. I think I'm at about 3 right now. So I'm going to probably try to post every other day with you guys. I'm going to try to put a couple more shorts out there, because there's a lot of content I have, guys. It really is a lot of content. I have full interviews with Bob Lazar. I actually have an interview with Bob Lazar where he was in the public, and it's about a 2-hour interview where he was answering questions, and it's really crazy. But I don't know if I can be able to put that out there, but I will definitely be putting it on Rumble and other places. So appreciate you guys joining in, and stay tuned for some more videos coming up.